So I'm Carlos Avalese, Fire Chief for the City of St. Augustine Fire Department in Florida. And we are here doing final inspection on our brand new HR100 aerial truck. So the City of St. Augustine is the nation's oldest city. We were founded in 1565 by Spanish explorers. And so it's a really unique territory in Florida. It's very difficult to navigate modern fire apparatus through streets that were designed for horse and carriages 150 years ago. So one of our big appeals to E1 and specifically the HR100 was the tight wheelbase and narrow jack spread for us to be able to get reach and set up in tight areas. We focused on shrinking up our front bumper as much as possible. We also did a tremendous amount of work to the back end of the truck that was inspired by an Ottawa rig that was built a couple years ago, making sure that we minimized as much as we could in the front bumper while still leaving room for 100 foot of pre-connect in our front jump line here. So probably the most notable change is on the back of the apparatus here. So we took what would have been a normal compartmentation that comes out to here, 45 to both rear corners. We also incorporated the poly rub rails all the way around the vehicle and a 4x4 steel rear bumper, trying to reinforce the truck as much as we could, and we're really happy with the way that this turned out. So we think we're running a 77-foot aerial now, and even though this truck is slightly bigger, we only managed to grow by 11 inches in wheelbase and upgrade it into a 100-foot single rear axle platform. So we're really excited about that. Being the nation's oldest city, we have a very historic fire department. And prior to the origination of the St. Augustine Fire Department, private fire companies that would respond in town, they were scattered all over the city. And if there was a fire, they would ring a bell, and the first privateer that got to the fire station and hooked their horse to the wagon was the crew that got paid to fight the fire. And so we're in the middle of a rebranding right now. With every new truck that comes into the fleet, we brand one of those original private fire company names onto the aerial. So the Ancient City Hook and Ladder was one of those private fire companies, and we actually have memorabilia and artifacts from the Ancient City Fire Company dating back to the 1860s at our station. So it's a really cool way to tie pride and ownership into a modern apparatus fleet. So we worked with Hallmark Rev RTC here in Ocala, Florida. We are extremely happy to be in an E1 platform. They've been very, very good to us. This truck here, we actually had E1's very first 100-foot single rear axle truck. It was a 110-foot Stratosphere that debuted in the 1981 World's Fair. City of St. Augustine took delivery of that truck in 1983 as a demo and was actually in service for 30 years before it was replaced. So it's a little bit of a homecoming for us to bring an E1 100-foot single rear axle truck back to the streets of St. Augustine. The folks at E1 have been phenomenal, great to work with, and we're very excited to get her out on the streets.